Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and it is Christmas in October. You're probably wondering, wait, why? Because, as you read the title above, what I'm reviewing today is August Burns Red first instrumental cover album, I guess you could call it, Sleddin Hills, which is basically a cover album of Christmas songs. So, in spirit, I'll wear the Santa hat and review this album. So, first thing I want to say before I actually jump off into what this album is, I want to say one quick thing. If you're not a August Burns Red fan or you're not a fan of that genre of music, just let you all know ahead of time, this is not an album where they went and took 12 Christmas songs and basically put heaviness over it and put death growl or screamy or whatever type of vocals over it. There is actually no vocals, like what I said in the beginning. An instrumental album, the only vocals that you will hear on the album is on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is basically all the band in a studio just basically up a mic and they're just like saying the words like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, basically, and it's not like screaming Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's probably really bad, but so don't expect some death growl vocals. But anyway, so basically, I'm going to go through some of the songs, some of my highlights, some of the songs you might know. That's going to be on this album. There's 12 tracks. You'll see all the tracks in the description. And the personnel, of course, August Burns Red. We got, Carol the Bells. We got We Wish You a Merry Christmas, Little Drummer Boy, Sleddin Hill, of course. That's the album title. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Oh Holy Night, Jingle Bells, Frosty the Snowman, and there's more, and there's others, but those are some of the ones more known Christmas songs. So basically, you're probably wondering, so what is this album? Basically, August Burns Red, if you don't know, they're a metal type band, progressive, melodic type metal band, whatever you want to call them genre. They have their own genre, but they're basically a metal band that goes along the lines of like All That Remains and stuff like that. So, basically, this album is just 12 Christmas songs that we all either love or hate, that plays over and over and over and over and over as soon as Halloween ends to Christmas, and basically just turn them into metal. Now, the whole album is not like a continuous metal, like just heaviness, and basically all you're hearing is just a heavied up versions of all these songs. There actually are moments on this album where it's very clean and melodic, and sometimes you'll forget that a metal band's actually playing it because it's so soft and it's not heavy guitars, it's clean tone guitars, and there's, a lot of all this stuff going on, and you're just, like, sometimes I forgot actually that I was listening to August Burns Red covering these Christmas songs because it didn't sound heavy at all, but of course it gets heavy and stuff like that. But, yeah, so the production on this album is actually very, very good. I felt like that I was just listening to a pretty cool band just doing a Christmas album, and that's what it is. It's not, to me, it feels like, it doesn't feel like August Burns Red is doing this album. It feels like just a band or something just got together and decided to do this album and make it metal. But as we all know, August Burns Red is doing this album. But it doesn't feel that way because you don't hear the vocalist on the album. The only vocals are, like I said before, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's the whole band just basically saying the words. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool to sing along to. But basically, this album is just Christmas songs heavied up, made heavier, and it's just something different. It's something different than a band going in and doing 12 cover songs of bands that they grew up to. This is totally different than saying August Burns Red goes into the studio and decides to cover some Black Sabbath, some Iron Maiden, some Metallica, some Slayer, some Anthrax, some Testament, some Exodus songs or something like that. Like a wide range of these older metal bands that, inspired them or something like that. Because then if that happened, we basically have to go and critique it and say, well, it's good, but it's not as good. But for this, it's a whole different scenario. It's a whole different thing because this is Christmas songs. This is something like I've never seen done before. I've seen bands and these metal bands before, like years back, try to like cover Jingle Bells or something. But to hear a metal band that's pretty popular in their own right, in their own genre, do 12 Christmas songs and basically there's nothing really you can critique because they're basically just heavying it up and just basically making it heavy metal or whatever type of metal you want to call it. But it's just basically Christmas songs just heavied up for us metal fans. So instead of you having to sit around the fireplace Christmas Eve waiting for Santa Claus to show up and playing, Jingle Bells over the stereo system or playing Jingle Bells and listening to the, Jingle Bells, we can actually listen to a heavied up version, but it's an instrumental album, but you can still sing along to it. It's still the same. They basically just followed the same pattern of how the song goes and basically just heavied it up for us. So us metal fans can actually listen to something different instead of the typical, on the radio, well, let's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We can actually listen to it, heavy it up, and sing along with the other guys that are singing. So that's basically what this album is. So if you were expecting this album to be death growl vocals or high screams or something over all these 12 songs, that's not the case. It's an instrumental album, basically 95% instrumental, because the 5% is the whole band getting in the studio around a mic and singing or saying Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But other than that, you're just going to hear a lot of guitar melodies, a lot of just heaviness up, and a lot of moments where you're going to go, that doesn't sound like a metal band's playing because they're playing it all smooth, but it's a good balance of heaviness on top of like, clean tone, nothing heavy, just basically sounding like the song, but then of course they heavy it up. So it's a good mixture. It's not 100% heavy. It's not 100% mellow stuff. It's actually a good fit for both. So I really don't see how a person could displease this album, or not displeased, like basically just are not satisfied with the album. The only way you would not be satisfied is either one, you have no sense of like, understanding what the band did, or you don't like Christmas songs, or you just don't like it when, somebody takes an idea and basically makes it new, because they're basically taking these old Christmas songs and making them new with these heavied up things. So it's a nice thing to see a band do this and switch it up instead of doing a typical cover album or just releasing another album with new music where everybody critiques it. I mean, for this, you can't really say, well, this is crap because they didn't cover it right, or, well, this song sucks because, this album sucks, the new music sucks. This is something different. It's just basically a reinterpretation of these old Christmas songs, heavied up, metaled up, whatever you want to call it. So that's the review, guys. It's a really good album. It felt great. Basically, if you're just interested in knowing what, these Christmas songs that everybody knows and some may not know, heavied up and basically just metalized, as I would say, then check out August Burns' Red Sleddin Hill. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like that video for the Santa hat. And as always, guys, subscribe for more metal videos. And I will see you guys soon.